All right, guys, we are live with the 49ers round check with my special guests and everybody on the crew. We got my boy Dion Niner Game Podcast. We got David McNiner. And we got the OG of the DB. And our special guest, we got the biggest beard in the business, the Twin Empire.
That ain't the biggest. That's the best beard in the business.
Biggest beard in the business, but the best.
I second that motion.
Oh man, don't make a chocolate man blush now.
Hey, there you go, man. That's how you gotta do it. We gotta see it though.
How y'all fellas doing tonight, man?
I haven't traded yet.
Hey, look, it's Victory Monday, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm solid. Hey, man. All I gotta say is, y'all better be ready for these playoffs, bro. Because it's crazy that we face the damn Seahawks again. But the cool thing is I mean, we got a formula to beat them. I don't think we're gonna have no issues. Plus, they gotta come to us. We don't gotta go to them.
But this is where I want to see if Seattle's gonna attack my dude Lenore, man, because I've been a little worried about him.
Yeah, they're going to attack him as much as they can, and I honestly think that when it comes down to Lenore, it's just a situation. It's him playing out of position. Honestly, I think he's more of a nickel DB than an outside cornerback. But I think because they don't have enough faith in Ambry Thomas and there's not another guy there that they can put into that spot, they're sticking with him and leaving Jimmy Ward as the nickel defensive back. But I can tell you this. I honestly feel like if Lenore goes out there and lays a stinker, you're going to start to see Jackrabbit out there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're just like bringing him along slowly, trying to get him a few plays here and there so he gets acclimated. And they're gonna throw him out there because I think they love what they have with Lenore, but it's just he's getting killed, man. And the biggest thing is his angles and his timing. Like his timing of jumps are horrible, and the angle that he takes on the ball is bad.
Hey, man, he got shoved in the back though, man.
No, he did.
That was the biggest play of the game, and he straight up did he did the two-hand push, like when you finna get in a fight in the club, you want to make sure you get some distance. Mm-hmm. AJ Green hit that old school like,
you know what? And Dion, you know where I'm going with this. On that first play of the game, one of the things that we're taught as defensive backs is basically, for example, that play with AJ Green. He basically told you what he's gonna do. He's jogging to you. Basically, Lenore, you don't need to put hands on him. Just back up a little bit, let him do his thing. He's going to take off, so you got to be ready for that. What did Lenore do? He put his hands on AJ Green. AJ Green slapped the hands away, and that's when he took off. That's where Lenore's mistake was at.
Yeah, and then you got to think about it. AJ Green wanted long legs, so he got long strides. So he covers more ground a lot faster than people anticipate. But what I can say is what's going on, Niner Empire always. But what I can say for Diamador is, like, in that moment, what's the first thing you're supposed to do? Exactly. You don't put your hands on him.
Yeah.
Get that back pedal right, and the minute you see he's going, it's easy. Flip the hips and go with him.
And I played a slow motion too. So if you notice, he was flat-footed. That's one of the critiques I had on Lenore. He's too flat-footed.
Yeah, you can't be standing there like that because they'll get you every single time. It's real easy, but –
I don't know. Maybe you guys will disagree with me. There should have been an offensive pass interference. But even if it was, as a DB myself, I'm not going to lie. When I play, I got mossed. You know what I mean? I got out-jumped by a taller receiver. So basically, I'm not going to hold that against Lenore because it's happened to me. It's happened to my sons. So that is part of playing the defensive back position.
Yeah. No, and so I agree with I played DB too. And so when I'm looking at it, I'm looking like it's almost somebody who was – when he jumped, if you look at it, I mean, AJ's taller, and he timed it better. But when I look at that push, and when it comes to a jump ball like that, a 50-50 ball, that push extended him just maybe like a foot or two out. So even when he jumped, you could tell there was maybe a foot there. But if he was able to come back and jump in, he'll be inside of his numbers. And so when he went up, even if AJ caught the ball, when he came down, Lenore hands would have been, inside the catching pocket. and then he could
exactly.
possibly swipe the ball, swap the ball away, something like that. And so that's where I was like, and then so much and then Gibson missed the tackle. But sometimes if the ref ain't gonna call that, that was a big
you got to play with it. And like I play defensive back myself, and one of the things we're taught, like you said, just basically it's back, get into the receiver's chest and go up in the middle of the receiver's hands, try to make that ball. But like I said, I've gotten mossed before, so I can't hold that against them. The poor tackling now, the poor tackling now, that's a different story.
I never played.
Better not be with Metcalf, because Metcalf's a big dude too, man. So I'm just hoping they keep Travarius Ward there and not think of stupid to put in Lenoir out there. Let him go with Lockett at least.
So what I heard D'Amico say was that certain plays are meant for Mooney to travel, and certain plays are not. But here's the thing: I'm looking at it right now, and it looked like 80 to 90% of the plays are meant for him to stay right where he's at. So you got to be very careful on that, man. That's definitely a hard sell when you're, when you want him to move because he can cover this guy better, but you're unable to do it because the scheme doesn't call for it. So you got to play within the scheme and understand it. I like what they did with Huff. Just saying, you're going to keep your eyes in the backfield and stay your ass down here.
And that's another critique I had Lenoir too. I think he's got a little better at that, but I still hold that against him where he peaks in the backfield depending on the rush instead of playing as man. That's one thing that irks me about him.
Yeah. But, I mean, offensively, we had a really good game.
Yeah, definitely.
Look at it. We did exactly what we scored off both our turnovers. That's what I love, honestly. The fact that Gipp had those turnovers and we turned it into 7 points each time, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I wasn't even worried about sacks or any of that stuff. It was the fact that I saw Gibb do what he was supposed to do. He caught his 2 interceptions. The second one he bobbled, but he still got it. It's lovely to watch, and it's great. It's even better for me when we turn those turnovers into actual points, because I get so frustrated when we do it and we don't get anything. It's like it's almost, to me, I'm sorry, as a defensive back, if I'm out there and I get you a turnover and you can at least give me 3, that's like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, bro, I just went out here and hustled, did my job. I got you the ball back, because my job, technically speaking, is not to score. My job is to stop the other team from doing so. So it works.
I think in this playoff game, I think the Niner defense is going to replicate what they did on a Thursday night game. I think they're going to replicate it.
The only difference of that matchup between playing the Seahawks on a Thursday is we didn't have Deebo Samuel, we didn't have Elijah Mitchell, and Kevin Gibbons is going to return, so that does make a boost on our run defense, because we've always been limiting these running games a lot, right? So it's always comes down to forcing the quarterback to throw the ball. We've seen what Geno can do, but Geno does not play well from behind at times. So
he gets rattled with that rush. If you notice, he gets rattled with that rush.
Mm-hmm. We about to make his life a living hell. He ain't got no clue what's coming for him. I mean, he technically does, but I'm just saying from a hypothetical standpoint, he has no idea that we're about to destroy him in ways that he can't imagine. I think he needs to, probably try to get some good sleep, be smart about it. Probably not have sex for a few days. I know they say that makes you boost your testosterone, and boxers do it so that they angry as hell, something like that. I don't fucking know. But he gonna have to do something, because he's gonna get himself killed. Like there's definitely gonna be a serious pass rush. I'll ask Dave this, and then I want to hear from Twin too. What did y'all think of Kinlaw's performance? Because he just looked average to me.
I honestly think he's been pretty average. I mean, when it comes to playing inside, right now our best inside guy is Armstead, but then T.Y. McGill is our second best guy.
Yeah, he's raw.
And I mean, Kinlaw, I've never been really sold on him. I mean, I've seen games where it's just like, dang, he's a beast. But then, the next game comes up and he's getting pushed around and getting pushed off the ball. And I mean, when we get Gibbons back, we are now going to have 4 guys we can rotate in there. And I mean, hopefully maybe it's just a stamina thing because he hasn't really played much this season.
Yeah, that's true. What you think, Twin?
Honestly, I think it's just repetition, man. My guy been out for what, almost 9 weeks, 10 weeks. And with a player of his size, you just got to get more. You just got to get comfortable with your timing, with your technique. I think it's been 2 games. The first game he only had 15 snaps, I believe. So he didn't get a lot of repetition. And a lot of times, I believe you just got to get comfortable with your D line and what Chris Kaserik is playing. If you know you're going to be in and out the game, you don't know necessarily, you don't get that feel, that rhythm yet. So other players or like the offense itself, like on the offensive side, say if we go 3 and out like we did like 2 times in the first couple of series, you have more opportunities coming later on in the game to kind of build your rhythm. But a big boy like that in the middle, I think he's just trying to get his feet underneath them. And we'll probably see a better Kinlaw once his wind is acclimated to playing, because it's one thing to practice, but it's one thing to play with the pressure and the competitiveness that you're going to go with the opposing team. So he's been all right. I'm glad he's been out there too, because he wasn't even out there in the fourth quarter. So for me, just him being out there, getting those repetitions, getting his body adjusted, that's what I was caring for. Like, that's what I was thinking about the most, because we did have some injuries. And so as long as he's on there getting reps, by the time the playoffs come, I believe he's going to be better suited to be more of a productive player in the game.
Yeah, they're just giving him limited snaps. They're not trying to put him out there too much. So very slowly he'll get more reps. It's just, I know he's not the same exact factor because they've been having T.Y. McGill getting more reps, right? This guy's been doing a pretty good job. So I like the fact that we got depth pieces, and it's good to have somebody, but like Kinlaw's average, but I think like the way Twin Empire said it best, it's going to have to take more of the reps, and he's going to get back to form at that point. But they put him in limited snaps, so what do you expect for him to do limited? Once he plays more, he'll get back to form, but I'm not too high on Kinlaw also, but I know he has knee issues. But when it comes down to like the reps, because like just like Twin said it, he's been missing some time, and usually that takes time to acclimate to the game. It's more different than practice, you know. You can have a great practice and then you don't look like nothing at the day, you know.
Hey CJ, one thing I noticed, and maybe you're the expert on this one. I know what people are talking about now when they say Kinlaw's too high when he's going on a rush. Maybe you can educate me on why he's so high.
He uses his God-given strength too much. That's the problem. He needs to learn how to be more low a little bit.
He doesn't. I think for me, for what I've seen from Kinlaw, is he's using that strength too much. Like, what people don't understand is you can't bull rush every play. This is it's not logical. Somebody's going to see what you're doing and find a way to beat you. It is very easy to stop a bull rush. You just have to know how to use that person's own momentum against them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I literally have watched offensive linemen, when they know a dude is heavy on a bull rush, they literally would get up into his pads and slam him down and let him use his own momentum and put their hands up like, I didn't do anything. So he just has to continue to develop and get better. And the main reason that I really want him to show up and show out is because he playing for a job. We didn't pick up his 5th-year option. So Kinlaw, I don't think so.
It's only his 3rd year.
Oh, this is only his 3rd year.
It's after this season by like May 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, you've been here and you've only had maybe a year's worth of health, year and a half, technically. So, you know, it's a frustrating thing for me because we wasted a 1st-round pick on the guy that we knew had issues. But it's just the 49ers motto. We love injured players. So it's going to be hard, man. And yeah, to your point there, who said that? Somebody. Oh yeah, he was talking about John Jay. He was talking about how Noah was running his mouth. I'm trying to get Noah on my stream, man, so we can do a little.
Dude, tune in the afternoon on the NFC West Network. We're gonna have it early, like at 12:30. I'm gonna have a one-on-one debate with him because we're already gonna do a little debate talk. Yeah, because he has a work schedule, but I am going to pull a Stephen A. Smith on him.
Yeah, man. Because I honestly was trying to get him and Steezy, and it's hard for me to get both of them. You know, I mean, Steezy, so he'll reply, but he gets so busy, it'd be hard to catch him and like get him and be like, all right, cool, we got this.
Oh, I'll text him. I got their numbers.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can get them on so I could, have a nice little perspective from them. But I honestly don't think that this game versus the Seahawks is worth much. It's unfortunate that they have to face us a third time. We didn't kick their ass twice, and it's going to be unfair when they lose again on Saturday. But
so do you want me to just get those two guys on? We can get Noah.
Yeah, I was just looking for Noah and Steezy.
We can do a 2-on-2 with them on your show.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
I can do it.
Think about the last game, though. So it was a Thursday night game.
Mm.
It was at Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on the road. You know, it was a short week. Now we have a full week to prepare.
And we're healthy.
And we're playing at Santa Clara, which we've actually been playing really good football this season at Santa Clara.
The only difference is we didn't have Deebo Samuel or Elijah Mitchell. Givens was out that week because of the injury he had, I believe.
Yep.
And a lot of the guys like Kinlaw wasn't. I think Kinlaw was like barely coming back after the following week. So.
Yeah, he was still being injured. But one thing I can say is, man, 61 yards. That's all we allowed in the run game. Mind you, that's from 6 different people.
I mean,
we were not running backs. So the run defense is hella stout. Like, we good there. I think the only weakness we really have in this defense is the pass defense, and we're still actually great at that. So
Hey, CJ, who does Noah do? Because if he's running his mouth, then that's my expertise. I love.
Oh no, man, Noah.
He's what you call a smart aleck. Like he's a good fan. He's a good sport. He's a good dude.
He's a good sport. He just he young though, man. Noah like this.
Oh, okay. If he's young, that's a whole.
Yeah. He's still a baby. He ain't grown and seasoned like us, man. He's still a little.
No worries, man. Let me see if after we're done with the show, we can talk about that. I'll see if I can get those two on your show, and then we can probably do a 2-on-2 on there. But we'll get to that pretty soon. But I'm supposed to be on at 12:30 for that day, and me and him are going to debate.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
man. I think so. For me, when I'm looking at it, we go in there full go with everybody. Like nobody's missing. Have y'all noticed that? Nobody is missing. Like I know the only person that I know that's missing that I miss is Trey Lance.
And Mosley.
And Mosley. Yeah, Mosley. Oh my God. He was having such a great year. He was. That turf monster came and got his ass.
Killed it.
I think we're missing more pressure though, honestly. I think our
we do.
I know a lot of times we say our corners aren't doing what we want them to do, but when that pressure is not there, we are susceptible for those passes because at the end of the day, you give any wide receiver opportunity to run 3 to 4 seconds, it's hard to cover for that long, man. Like one of the hardest positions to play in football is the corner, and these guys get paid just as much as the other opposing player, and you got to respect that. To be able to be plastic to a guy for 4 to 5 seconds is asking a lot. And so even with that being said, we may give up a couple of big plays every now and again, but for the most part, I think our guys are doing pretty decently.
But Twin Charlie, you got to agree because, like you said, you play the DB position. One of the things that we're coached is we never depend on the pass rush. We just play our man as long as we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's true. But then again, how we play our defense, sometimes we're in man, sometimes we're in zone, and sometimes you're passing somebody off in the zone. And so, if you play in the zone, somebody could be in your zone for 2 to 3 seconds. But then when they're coming out that zone, and then you got to worry about you reading 2 positions or you have 2 routes coming to combination in your zone where you was thinking you holding for 3 to 4 seconds, but now it breaks off. You know what I mean? And then you only need this much separation in the zone to be able to say, oh, I'm going this way. I can hit that wide receiver, and then you're on their backside or vice versa, depending if you have a boundary or not, or you playing it within the hashes. And so, and we talk again, this is the top level. And so at the end of the day, it is kind of it's just a little bit difficult when you do have to keep that engagement and be in face for that long.
And that's why I always hated playing zone coverage. I hated it. I want to be playing man to man in your face. That's how I played.
Man, I used to love back in the day watching football where somebody could get jammed out they fucking lights. Like you could get jammed up at the line, and it was just you were bullied. But have y'all noticed what's going on in the chat? A lot of people believe that the Eagles will choke.
The way they play against the Giants backup kind of does seem kind of concerning, and Jalen Hurts is shaking off the rust, so it's like maybe.
I mean, they won yesterday. They got the job done.
You know what? And I'm not gonna lie that I can't remember which team. You know, help me remind me. But the Eagles did get exposed.
Oh yeah,
I forgot who it was, but yeah, they did. There was a game where they got broke off pretty badly.
You mean the Saints?
There you go. That's who it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints. Look, dude, they gave up a 40 burger to the Cowboys at their own house.
Yeah.
This last game, they were playing the New York Giants backup, and they barely beat them by 8 points.
Dude, I'd be surprised if they get eliminated after that, just like Green Bay did.
I mean, hey, that extra week off gives you a little bit of time to rest and whatnot, but that don't mean that it's an automatic dub.
But I did hear
it hurts the momentum a little bit. It hurts the momentum a little bit because you want to continue on. Yeah. You don't want to just be rested.
But I did hear right now talk about Nick Bosa was saying even with the 49ers, he's saying like sometimes you can kind of get mundane playing, knowing that you already have a solidified number 1 or number 2 position, and it's sports. So mentally, you kind of be like, I'm playing, but you're not really up. And I do believe that's one thing that people got to be wary about. It's like, hey, they know this game going to count now, and the stakes are higher in this playoff atmosphere. Playoff atmosphere is not like the last game or 2 games where these people are playing. Some people are playing like, third, fourth stringers or just trying to see what they have for next year. And these other teams are literally out here playing for it all. So I don't want to get, I believe we can beat them, but we definitely got to be careful because that defensive line is still nasty. Like they pass rush is still there because even though the team, I think when they're focused, they still got a good DB group. They got some decent linebackers, but their front 4 they got, you got 4 guys with 10 plus sacks. I don't care nobody say. Hey, that's in the playoffs. That's what you want. You want to put 4 guys out there can go out there and get double-digit sacks, man. And that's something that's scary. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I really hope we go against the Cowboys because that game is so personal. Seriously.
Oh, my house will be a war zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my wife is a Cowboys fan. She's not playing about it. She was like, "Oh, I saw you won the other day." I'm like, "Yeah, and you lost." She was like, "You had to say that." I'm like, "Yes, of course. I definitely had to say that."
You think how the Eagles played like trash? Man, do you see the Cowboys lose to a backup quarterback?
Who's the Commanders quarterback that played? How?
I don't know who.
I just had to say that. Funny.
I'll ask this question: Who was that guy for you on offense yesterday? Who said, you know what? I'm that guy and I'm taking over. Let's go with Twin. We'll rotate around back to me.
So my bias, I ain't gonna say it's a bias, but man, I love seeing. Well, all right, I'll let y'all have that one.
No, go ahead, bro. Don't pull nothing. Say what you want to say.
Because I want to split them in half and like make 2 people, but I can't, so I got to pick one. So I said, well,
go ahead, pick 2 people. Ain't no rules, regulations.
So I've been a big fan of BA. So big up to our number 1 wide receiver once again, showing out and letting them
1,000 yards. Yes, sir.
He got that stack. You know what I'm saying? He's only 13 away from the greatest of all time, but that's neither here or there.
I like how you try to slide that in there real slick.
Gotta make sure you give credit to the GOAT, man. When people say, I got 1,000 yards, like my man got 16 of these boys, but that's a whole nother level. But let's get back to the young pup out here doing this thing. I love what BA has done, which is just consistency. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of thought with Debo getting that bread, and we thought with Trey Lance being the quarterback that he would be featured more. And though Trey Lance wasn't necessarily the quarterback, I think his natural route running abilities and his ability to run the whole route tree, even though we don't necessarily see him do a lot of those deep posts and those deep goals and those deep flag routes. I know it's in his bag, but I just love his consistency. The way that he has blocked this year. If anybody watched the film and all 22, you see your boy Brainard, you got there running down the field, doing those second and third level blocks, man, and I love it. And then my last guy would be Elijah Mitchell, man. I have no issue or no qualms with Christian McCaffrey. I think he's a really good running back. But
he ain't no Elijah Mitchell.
I love when Elijah hits somebody, he lean forward, he fall for it. The power moves for it. You know what I'm saying? And I just love seeing that duality between Christian McCaffrey and what he does. But then when Elijah Mitchell get in that game, man, he running with force. And I love just I think it gets the crowd pumped because we're a physical team. And so it's similar how when Debo hits somebody and he leans forward or he goes forward. I love it when I see Elijah Mitchell running that ball, coming off injury once again, like he did the last time, and rushing like he didn't miss a step. So big up to Elijah Mitchell, man, second round draft pick, man. So I likes that.
There you go, man. CG, who was that guy, man? Because he just laid out a nice little PSA for Mitchell and BA there.
Oh man, that's a really tough one. But he took Elijah, man. I was gonna say him, but you know what? I'm gonna go with the next man. All right, the next man that nobody talks about, and if he gets a little bit of targets, a little bit of that play, man, we got to give it to the Juice.
Now he looked good. He looked good. Give Juice a little more in the game plan, man. That man can get going.
He can get going. You just saw that play where he caught on one of those plays, and then he ran a decent run, bro. Come on, we got to get this guy a little bit of some place.
Okay, he said, "What you think, Moses?"
Hey, my phone is dying, so I won't be able to answer that question. But yeah, I'm gonna try to charge my phone to see if it restarts.
All right, man. All right, Dave, what you got?
So I can't say the offensive line because they gave up some pressures.
Don't say Brendo.
Oh man, nah, he's I can't believe he's a Pro Bowl alternate. That's a joke, right?
Yeah, I agree. It is.
I mean, it is. It's like that just proves anybody can make it. You know, it don't matter. But at this point, I mean, CMC had a combined 79 yards. But this is like, you know, he got pulled out of the game. So then you had Eli Mitchell, 5 carries for 55 yards, 11 yards a carry. Where's the rust?
There ain't none.
Where's the rust? He hasn't played in like 8 weeks.
That man came right out the gate. Like I'm getting everything.
I mean, that's just amazing. He hasn't played in 8 weeks. It's like he steps right in like he's been playing all season.
It just looks like he hasn't got hurt or something. It's like
I always got to mention Glock Purdy. He was like, you know, his numbers weren't fantastic. They were 15 for 20, 178 yards and 3 TDs. But I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. So, and he looks poised in the pocket. He's calm. He's not jittery like Jittery G is. He's not, you know, holding on to the ball. Well, he did actually hold on to the ball instead of throwing it away a couple times. I have to talk. You know, there was a couple sacks where he could have gotten rid of the ball.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You know, at the same time, we're watching film that will get corrected this week.
Well, Brendan needs to fix blocking Burford a little bit, but other than that, I don't got no issue with Burford. I just think a lot of it has to do with the line gelling as a team.
Hey, and David, I know you were saying something about Elijah Mitchell. I think last year he led the National Football League with like 10 plus carries. Like,
carries for more than 10 plus yards.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he averaged a lot of yards.
He did, and that's another thing that people like they fail to realize. And this is again because people think he takes shots at Christian McCaffrey. It's no shot at him. He's wonderful and excellent at what it is that he does. But in that red zone area, man, in that short yardage and third down and 2-1. There's no disrespect, Christian, but let the boy who can lean forward a little bit, who averages probably like plus 2.5 yards than expected rate. I think, you know, that's on like Next Generation or something like that. When he gets tackled, people think he only supposed to get, say, for instance, 4 yards. He ended up getting 6. man, that's something key for our team, man, that physicality. And so when we were in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, I think one play we did, I don't know, we did a QB sneak. And I was like, bro, we got Juice, we got Elijah Mitchell and Mason, and we in the red zone, or we at the 5, or we at the hat. Like, bro,
I was
put all
running.
3 of them in. Put all 3 of them in the backfield in the full house formation, or even in the big jumbo eye, and run the ball 2 to 3 times. Even third, if it's 2nd and 2, run it in. If it's 3rd and 1, run it. If it's 4th and 1, run it in. You got some big boys in there, man, who can move the pocket and run it on Trent's side all 3 times if you really feeling froggy. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I want to add to it.
Nah, man, I completely agree with you. For me, I ain't gonna front you, man. This is defense. Defense did they dang thing, man. We had 3 interceptions yesterday, 2 by Gipp, 1 by George Odom, and he caught the 4th stringer slipping. And then when you look at it, man, we had 3 sacks. You got half a sack from Ebicom and Omenahu, and then Bosa had 1, and so did Jordan Willis. Like it just, we had 3 passes defense, hit the QB 7 times. Like the defense just balled out, man, and I'm very proud of them for what they do and how they make things happen on a consistent basis. It just, people got to be afraid of this defense every time they come on the field, because they can do something special at any given moment, and they just balled yesterday, the other day, and I was very happy to be able to see every second of it. I ain't gonna be able to watch the game this Saturday because I'll be working, but I gotta go get the Jaeger. You know what I'm saying? I can't pass on that.
One thing I say is this, hey, we give it up like a virgin.
Corey,
right, man. We gotta chill out on that 3rd and long. We don't be that strong.
We gotta get off. Yeah, we gotta get off that field.
We gotta do that. And also, man, we missed our boy Drake Greenlaw. I don't know about y'all. I could tell he went out there.
I like the job that Cruz did. He did a good job.
But we need Greenlaw out there, man. Greenlaw's
it ain't Dre, but what he did will suffice.
He gets physical. He gets under people's skin a little bit too.
What you think, Corey? Talk to us. How you feel about this game yesterday?
I feel great. I love it, and can't wait to beat the Sea Chickens.
Oh, the Sea Chickens! We're gonna take them down.
We going ham on them, man.
Hey, you want some chicken from KFC? You want to beat them Sea Chickens, bro? Come on, let's get that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
We can't hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yep.
What were you gonna say?
I said I'm reason why I'm a little late because I was in dialysis class.
Oh no, you're good.
They don't have no good reception there.
No worries, man. What matters is you're here now. But as far as our defense, man, despite what happened with Lenore in the coverage play, that 4th and 4 play, dude, that tackle on the backfield was, I have to say, that was fantastic play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was just, I didn't even see Lenore coming from that distance, but he read that play and just tackled the backfield, bro. Excellent tackle.
Has anybody noticed how Ray's been getting off a little bit more? Like he's seeing the field a little bit more clearly as he's taking these punts and these kicks, and he's able to make some moves, man. He's doing very well. He looks to be a good pickup from the offseason. At first, I think the beginning of the season, it was a little shaky, but after that, he's calmed down. What was you going to say to him? Go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, but says pickups to Burks, George Odom.
Oh, yes.
A lot of those guys, Mason on the punt coverage or the
DFF
coverage team.
Womack.
A lot of them dudes out there be doing the thizzle, man. They be balling, and they might not get the pub that they deserve, but we all know what happened last year when it comes to special team. We all know how many times we were pulling our hair out, talking about what in tarnation is going on with these 49ers. I think we were ranked 29th in special teams last year, which was horrendous.
And the Packers were the worst.
Was the worst, and we saw what happened in the playoff game, how they can turn around and bite you in the butt. Low key, nobody don't know this, but I'll tell y'all, the Eagles are like 29th too this year, and when it comes to the special team unit. So if there's any time for us to pull like a little reverse or something in the tuck, or if we might break one, that might be the game, man. If we really go out there and play like we should and use our special team guys to go out there and do something nasty. So just want to let y'all know. I know if we thinking about that, far as I'm just a regular guy who love the Niners, but somebody's in that film room that they get paid good money for to say, hey, this special team is leaky, and we can get away with something like we did last year when Kevin Givens, or was it Kevin Givens?
No, that was Jordan Willis. You talking about the Green Bay? Yeah, Jordan Willis.
When Jordan Willis and what's our guy name? Jimmy Ward worked together in unison to block that kick, man, and end up transforming our whole playoff. So just want to throw that out there.
Oh, there was a play where Kinlaw did block the field goal at one point.
Yeah, you just got to. It's those things are all about the right push and the timing. Like if you can do it right when the ball is directly snapped, it makes life easier for you to be able to try to interrupt those plays and make a big play on it, man. What's going on, Bolts? I see you out there, man. And they did probably mail it in, versus the Commanders. Me personally, I can tell you this: divisional games are always the toughest because you face these people 2 times a year and they know you. And I tell people this, and some people think I'm crazy, but if you look at Kansas City, who do they mainly struggle with? The people in their division. Why? Because they see them twice. They already know what the fuck is going on. The Chargers give them a run for their money, and it's funny because the Raiders usually give them a serious push. Like the Raiders give them all kinds of problems. Why, I don't know. But, especially with the defense that trash, but it is what it is. But I see from us going forward, at least NFC Championship at a minimum. There's no less than that.
I think it's either Philadelphia. I think that's what they want to see is the Niners and Eagles play each other. I think depending on how the Eagles shake those weaknesses, bro, we'll probably see them in the championship more than likely.
Yeah, definitely so, man.
I think, okay, if we were to go to this roadblock, I know this is not going to be a walk in the park with Seattle because a third time can be a lot difficult, but the best part is it's in Levi's. We play a lot better at home than we do on the road. But here's what can happen possibly. Okay, so for our road to get to the conference of the Super Bowl, right? So let's say hypothetically we beat Seattle and it becomes a history making since decades ago that a team's got beat 3 times. So we get past them. I think we'll either play the Vikings, which they want to see that game, which is possible. Maybe the Giants pull an upset, but I think realistically it might lean towards another team seed. The Giants will either play the Eagles and we'll either just play whoever in that other spot, because I think Giants can easily upset the Vikings. So Vikings just have a little weakness. Something about Minnesota just concerns me a little bit.
It's Kirk Cousins. He's trash. Like I tell people all the time, and everybody looks at me and go, oh, well, he's not trash. Kirk Cousins pads his stats so he can get paid. That man ain't looking to go win no damn Super Bowl. In Minnesota, you can keep right on paying him and keep kicking yourself square in the ass every year because you're not going anywhere. There are some people that you look at and you go, this guy's hunting for a Super Bowl. He's really going to take you there. He's going to get you over that hump. He's going to get you to the mountaintop and you'll be celebrating victory. And there are guys that you go, he going to make sure he makes his money. And Kirk Cousins is one of those guys. He's the latter. He knows how to make sure that he puts up the correct numbers to continually get paid. He done robbed the Vikings for how much money? Almost $100 million now, and still ain't brought him shit in the time you've been there. I'm sorry. If after a couple of years you ain't brought me no Super Bowl, we need to have a talk. And you definitely can't come to me and ask me for no damn money because you can't even get over the hump in the playoffs. Like that's just my mindset. If I'm a GM, I'll give you a couple of years. Yeah, because you got to build the team around you. There's a lot of things that happen. But after those couple of years, Kirk Cousins hasn't even taken him anywhere near an NFC Championship game.
Not even close. Like one playoff win.
Not even close. And you continually are paying this dude. Like I get that there's a shortage of quarterbacks that are going to be great. And I understand that you want to make sure that you have the right guy. But he just doesn't. Kirk Cousins knows the business. Sajin said it best. He's a smart businessman.
He's just a moneymaker.
He understands it, man. If I put these stats up, they got to pay me. So what am I doing? Kirk Cousins probably got the coldest retirement plan ever. he's sitting there just investing that money, flipping it, doing whatever he wants. I don't doubt that he being smart about it, but it's just the fact that the Vikings are stupid to keep giving it to him because he's not taking them anywhere.
Well, what other quarterback can they get? I mean, they have to.
Look, man, I don't give a shit. If I done gave you $84 million fully guaranteed over 3 years and you ain't brought me a Super Bowl, you can kiss my ass and get the fuck on. I'm not giving you more money because I just gave you $84 million guaranteed and nothing has come of it. Like I understand the circumstances where it may possibly be, the defense didn't play well and things of that. But either way, if I give you that kind of bread, I expect at a minimum to be a championship contender every year, and they are not. Nobody over the season going, well, watch out for the Vikings. They're going to be great.
Not with Kirk Cousins, but to be fair, man, there isn't many franchise quarterback you can get. They don't grow on trees, and Kirk Cousins isn't your typical franchise quarterback, like you said. But he's winning games, even though it don't matter at this point when he goes to the playoffs. I get that part, but what other quarterback can the Vikings go to?
Shit, it was real simple. Come to us and give us a first-round pick. We give you Glock Purdy.
That would be dead.
I'll tell you right now, if somebody comes to the Niners and they offer a first-round pick for Brock Purdy, you better pull that fucking trigger. You know how rare it is for you to flip a 7th to a first?
That'd be rare.
Never happens.
From rags to riches.
Say Purdy gets us to the NFC Championship game. He plays well, but we just, we come up short. God forbid, because I want us to win. But we come up short. And a team looks and goes, hey, man, I know you still got Trey Lance, and I'm pretty sure you believe in him, but this kid Brock has been out there proving it. I like what I see. What will it take for us to get him off your hands? And if somebody comes and says, hey, I got a first-round pick for you, deal's done. I still got Trey Lance.
I would honestly wait a year because, I mean, we have the guy for 4 years. He's still under team control. And
is it 4? He's
I would sit on him for another season and make him give us a first, and a second, or a first and a third. You know what I mean? Be like, no, we like our quarterbacks too much to give them away for a first. And then, the next season.
Yeah, we want to up it up a little more. But let's say hypothetically, Purdy makes history. He wins that Super Bowl. You look at the history of then his market value is going to go from a first to a third and maybe a little bit more. You get that yard sale type deal where they give you a bunch of stuff and say, hey, you can take them.
Yeah, several picks.
Dude, I mean, I get what you're saying. The value, that would be too crazy to give up a first for the last pick in the draft. I don't think it's ever been done. But Brock Purdy, bro, the way this offense is moving, I know there's a lot of fans that are on the Trey Lance train also, but there's some of them being very skeptical about what could happen. This can be an issue going forward. I want Trey Lance to be here, but what happens from here on out? What happens if Brock does win the Super Bowl? Do we even give the job back to Trey, or do we even let Brock Purdy take it?
I can tell you right now, if we win the Super Bowl, Trey lost his job.
That's what I'm saying. There's
no question about that. I mean, it's unfortunate, but
that's the hardest question for us. I support Trey too, but I'm just saying that's a tough one.
The only thing you can have that's comparable to this is the situation with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. Here's the issue. Carson Wentz did the whole fucking job. Nick Foles just had to clean up in the playoffs. And the other issue there is they had already paid Carson Wentz a handsome ransom. So you can't pay two quarterbacks that kind of money. And you can't keep Nick Foles there because you already know he's a free agent. He's going to demand a lot. So you don't turn around therefore and franchise tag Nick Foles because you want to keep him there because he's costing you too much money, along with Carson Wentz costing you too much money. Then you handicap the team in a salary cap hell. So in this instance, what you do is with Purdy, if he wins that Super Bowl, you're going to give him that starting job. You're not going to take it from him. Kyle can play all the mind games and say all the stupid shit he normally says in the offseason, which drives me absolutely insane. But it's going to be a situation where somebody will be like, well, hey, Purdy won a Super Bowl. Is this his job? Well, we don't know if we're going to be able to live tomorrow. Kyle, answer the fucking question. Okay? Knock it off with the bullshit. Just say it's his fucking job.
You did.
You wouldn't go. They're not going back to Lance. So I'm gonna think about this. I have a guy that took me on a serious win streak, got me to a Super Bowl and won, and I'm about to go back to a dude that I have no clue necessarily, truthfully, what he is. No,
but he did have enough to see that, like, and it's like for me, context matters though. Like we gonna sit here and again, if he wins, that's cool, but we sit here and we say CMC, since he's been traded to the San Francisco 49ers, our offense has not been the same. We'll sit here and say that this offensive production has skyrocketed. We'll sit here and say during the offseason, I've seen many people complain about our offensive line and the 49ers not doing anything in the offseason for the offensive line. I heard complaint after complaint after complaint after complaint. So this guy gets the opportunity to have time to see our offensive line gel. Our offensive line hasn't been injured or like really bad throughout this entirety of this year. So they got some type of continuity with one another. And then you have the whole opportunity to see that, again, we had Kyle Shanahan grow with the offense as well. And when it comes to calling plays, and I'm not even mentioning that defense that most people say is probably one of the top 3 defensive that the 49ers has ever seen in history. So we're going to take a quarterback who's had won the starting job for some reason, unbeknownst to us, who's playing against this same defense that we sit here and look at today that kind of smothered a lot of these teams without no Debo, without no CMC, and without no Elijah Mitchell throughout the entirety of the training camp, in the offensive line who had 3 new moving parts to it. People who looked at Breno said, how in the hell he's a center. People sit there and say, who is the Aaron Banks? Because he didn't play not one snap last year. And what in the world is Spencer Bruford going to do for this team? We seem to forget all of these things with what Trey Lance was dealt with. But then when your boy come through here, we see Jimmy G play a productive, like we never seen Jimmy G even do what he did. Win, kept the interceptions low, consistently had our team moving. We gave him props. And then we see Brock Purdy come through, take the same opportunity and doing the same thing, maybe a little more, in the higher level because his ability to move outside the pocket and be athletic, which, hey, that's no knock on him. But I'm quite sure Kyle Shanahan may have seen some things that we don't see unbeknownst to us. But again, the situations are totally different. And for Trey to not even get the opportunity to compete for a starting job where he had all these players, what we say all pro Kittle, Trey still ain't got 3 or 4 games consistent with Kittle. He still ain't got consistent games with Elijah Mitchell because when he was productive and against the Chicago Bears, he had a good running back. You look at his first half numbers, they were looking really purty. But we ain't gonna say nothing about that. But then when everything changed, we sit there and say, the boy throw him away. He's no good. And we just leave context and all these other variables out the way. Like, come on, man. We can't be doing that. That ain't cool.
The only reason I said what I said, Twin, is just because I know how they move. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you, man. The Shanahans don't like black quarterbacks. It's just not their thing. It's nothing against them. I'm not calling them racist or anything like that. They just don't mess with black quarterbacks. RG3 was.
He was going to start. He was about to start, though, man. So I don't think there's something
he was
that
about
gave
to
him
start,
the
but he was gonna start because you didn't really have a choice. You look real stupid as a
they
franchise.
Had Brock Purdy, who everybody see now. They had Purdy, and they still had Jimmy Garoppolo. So it's not as if they didn't have a quarterback who, like the same thing that y'all laid out to say why he should start next year. He had a quarterback, because we've seen this, who went where? To the AFC Championship game the year before, and 2 years ago he made it to the Super Bowl. So it's not as if they haven't seen some type of similar situation where a quarterback was able to come into their role and fulfill a particular type of situation, right?
True. Those are facts. All I'm saying is I've seen them move. I've seen the way that they move, man. And I'm telling you right now, that young man wins the Super Bowl. At a minimum, it's going to be an open competition. At a minimum, if they don't just get that to him outright. What'd you say, Corey?
That's what I wanted to see. I want to see if Brock Purdy takes the Super Bowl next season. I want them to have a competition between Trey and Brock.
Oh, okay.
I mean, to be fair, Trey was injured, but it happens. It happens in the business, but it's really hard to this is a question that we're all gonna go through this after the season, bro. This is a great problem to have, but that's just gonna be shaky for all of us, bro. If this kid
will be banging again.
That's going to be insane.
The Walt Disney story, bro. This is a Cinderella story, bro. Nobody's ever gonna. It's never been heard of, like ever since the Kurt Warner story.
Hey, you know what? On a side note, so I saw that Cliff Kingsbury got fired.
Oh, yeah,
good job. Good luck to Kyler Murray. Because I tell you right now, I don't know who they bring it in, but that definitely ain't their QB. And then here's another thing, and Twin, you can understand this. Lovie Smith gets fired. And what do the Houston Texans do right after they fire him? They want to interview DeMeco Ryans.
But DeMeco passed on it.
I mean, he's focused on this. He's doing the same thing Saleh did. Like, hey, I may be a hot commodity, but I got a team to focus on, and we have goals to finish. If I've, unfortunately finished those a little sooner rather than later, then I'll come to you. But here's the weird thing, man. It was they hired Lovey for optics, man. They didn't hire Lovey because they wanted him. Hiring a black quarterback, a black coach at that time was the thing to do.
Because they wanted Josh McCown. They wanted
but the issue was Josh McCown had no coaching experience. Yeah, and it looked really, really horrible.
You know the Colts, they're the opposite.
On a bunch of viable candidates who have experience, and you just give old Josh McCown the job. That
would be slap in the face, yeah.
Bob McNair already screwed up when he said it's like the inmates running the asylum. Then you just randomly hire a quarterback that has no experience and pass up on a bunch of black candidates. Oh yeah, they're really gonna.
Oh yeah, dude. And Jim Irsay is a punk for that move too. Why would you even get Jeff Saturday to be a head coach?
Man, he got with Saturday because he knew the season was over and he just wanted somebody to get him through. I don't think that was overlooking anybody. It was just the fact, hey man, it is what it is.
It makes the Texans look better now. It makes the Texans look better because the Colts did that.
Yeah. Now the Texans still look like trash, man, and it's a trash.
It makes them look better because the fact that they didn't even they avoided the backlash from possibly getting Josh McCown. Colts are getting a little backlash for hiring Jeff Saturday.
Texans. Nobody really cares.
Yeah, I mean, they ain't doing much of nothing.
He lost on a Saturday to the Vikings.
The only reason I mentioned it is I felt bad for Lovey because it's another situation where you don't get a fair shake at it. They screw black coaches on a consistent basis. They don't give you no time. They don't allow you to grow with the team or even build the team. What do you think Lovie Smith was going to do in 1 year with Davis fucking Mills? Not a damn thing. Nobody's. Davis Mills is what, 22, 23? That motherfucker looked like he's 45. Come on, man. That dude was out there.
Dinosaur neck.
Yeah, he was trying, man. It didn't work out. I want to
say this, Dion.
Yeah, talk to
my
me.
man's in the chat said this too. I would love to see Brock Purdy running 10 to 15 RPOs per game too. Like, hey man.
We got the mobility
out here. But look, hey, I don't let my brother look. We were talking about fair shake, Let my boy Trey run the same offense at least for a game.
Yeah,
if you game. Let him not be out here get teed off, you know what I'm saying?
He ran him to the ground. Wrong.
It killed me when Trey was in, we were run. And the minute Jimmy came in, pass. And I'm like, how does this make Trey has a better arm than all of these quarterbacks combined. How is it that we can't get him to throw the ball? Why are you not doing it?
People going to say, well, he misses the short flat route. But even the first game Purdy played, he missed a wide open Brandon Ayuk on the flat. It's like, bro, I can sit here and show you passes that he missed too. And did Trey miss some passes starting off? Yeah, but the game with Chicago, he didn't miss those passes. He was digging and dunking. He was doing good. So only until the monsoon came, he started messing up a little bit. And then the running game was stifled because Elijah got hurt, And then in the game with the Seattle, we had just finished running the ball like crazy as far as with Debo and Wilson was doing pretty decent. I think he had like a 5.2 yard per average. That's why we was like, keep running the ball with Debo or
why not?
With Elijah, not Elijah, but Debo or Wilson. Why are you running your quarterback like that? We getting, good yardage. And all I'm saying is I just would like to see this guy get a playbook that the other two guys use and let him throw the ball around for a little bit. And let's see. I mean, that's when I think we can really make a good judgment out of it. But if you win the Super Bowl, you do get grace. You do get mercy. I mean, it's been almost 20-some years. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey,
After
lovely to have
we win, I probably won't make another argument to defend nothing because I'll be too busy out here with one of these for the whole spring. Like, what you doing, bro? I'm celebrating every day.
Hey, I'll tell you this. So, Saijan, you were saying you think that the Chargers should charge the Rams for rent on the stadium. I'm going to give you a tidbit of information. You can look it up if you don't believe me. The Chargers only pay $1 for rent any damn way.
They don't even have to pay much.
The rent on that stadium is all on the Rams because the Rams owner tried to be sneaky and underhanded and do some
like the roommates.
Shit. And what happened? It backfired right in his face. So now the Chargers only pay $1.
It's like a roommate
year.
Like a roommate who only pays very little rent, and you just pay a little bit of the rent.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they are.
Yeah, so they don't have to worry about that. That part is easy.
They're like the freeloaders.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, he. I live in St. Louis, so
okay.
We felt the situation was close to home when he dipped up out here. Just so y'all like it was like I was able to see the 49ers play here at the stadium, you know, at the dome. So when they left, I ain't gonna lie, I shed a little thug tear. You know what I'm saying? But 3 months ago, he had to pay like $975 million back, you know, to the city of St. Louis, and so like you know. He got bread, you know what I mean? And
he ain't hurting for $1.
He ain't hurting for money, man, at all.
But he just,
so I wouldn't be surprised.
It looked, man. The one thing I learned working in Beverly Hills was the rich like to stay rich, and they're very frugal. So though they have the money, they don't want to spend it in the ways that they don't see fit. Unfortunately, in this instance, hey, screwed yourself, you screwed the Rams, and there it is. You stuck like Chuck with this situation, but. Man, this is going to be a beautiful game on Saturday. I think that we come out victorious. And I think this is a little bit closer than what we normally anticipate, only because it's our third go-round. And usually it's a little bit harder when you got to go against a team 3 times. You know, they kind of give you a little bit of hassle, a little bit of fits. But honestly, I think it's going to be a wonderful game. And believe you me, man, you know, it'll be us moving forward in the playoffs, I'll tell you that much.
It will because, you know, we're going to get some guys that they didn't play the previous time because, you know, when we played in Seattle, we didn't have Elijah. We didn't have Debo. Kevin was out, and Kinlaw wasn't even on the field at the time. So it was like I think we're going to have a lot of key pieces back, especially Aaron Banks. He should be returning this week. He's practicing.
Yeah, even if he can't, man, Brunskill is a Swiss Army knife. I got to give him props too, man. That dude can play any position on the line. I hate him at center because he's trash. But honestly, he does really great at any guard or right or tackle spot. He does pretty good. So I can appreciate his production, man. Shout out Daniel Brunskill for going in there playing left guard and making it happen.
You can put him at guard or any of those guard spots, tackle. He's done pretty decent at that spot. But center, nah.
I'd rather have him at right tackle than Mike McGlinchey. He's better at pass pro.
Dude, Mike McGlinchey, I know how some people feel about him. I know he still needs to step it up a little more, but he hasn't really like in the last few weeks. He's kind of been okay, but
yeah, he's looked all right. I ain't complaining about him right now. I'm just saying, you know, long term, it's definitely some confusion. I'm pretty sure he'll hit the free agent market, and then we'll you know, if he doesn't find anything that he likes or somebody doesn't drop a nice chunk of change in his pocket, he'd come on back. But either way, I think the Niners are prepared for it. I'm pretty sure they're probably trying to, you know, figure out who the right tackle is going to be. Because I mean, you honestly could put Colton McKivitz at right tackle. He played all positions on the line while he was at West Virginia.
Yeah, he was decent there. Yeah,
he was decent. So
yeah. So what were you gonna say, Corey? I know we didn't give you a chance to speak, man. My bad. You there?
Oh, I was going to say, you know, yeah, I'm here. You
okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I want them to use Trey Lance like they use Steve Young. You know, you go out the pass. And if you had to use his feet, use your feet. But mostly, you went out there to pass. Whether they use them as a running back, you know, they let him throw the ball. That's what I want to see the 49ers do with Trey Lance. Let the man throw the ball.
Yeah, we all agree on that one.
I want to use him as a running back all the time.
That's the problem. They try to run this kid to the ground like they did with RG3, like he did in Washington. That doesn't work that way. Got it at least. I mean, if Shanahan realizes that if
Trey
he
Lance gone,
what were you gonna say? My bad.
I say if they keep on running him like that, he gonna wear him down. He ain't gonna have a long career.
Yeah, he won't have a long career. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, those hits are gonna be like it's gonna lay a toll on him, and then he's not gonna be the same. So it's like, but Shanahan just doesn't know how to like he doesn't know how to develop his own quarterbacks at times. And now you look at Brock Purdy. Okay, Brock Purdy only came into that last pick because of Brian Griese. I think if anybody has more credit to the quarterback development for this year, I think Brian Griese needs some props for that, man. Like he goes from coming out of the college.
Retweet my tweet, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you were tweeting that too. I believe you did. Yeah.
Yeah, Griese has done a fantastic job with the quarterbacks all year long. And the one thing that I can say is, and I appreciate this, he's probably been the realest out of all of those coaches. Because he never fell for the Jimmy G bait all off season. Whenever anybody talked to him, I asked him questions. Hey, I'm working with Lance. We're moving forward. We're getting better. We're doing this. We're doing that. And it's always everybody would try to bait him into them Jimmy G conversation. He's like, well, he's over there. I'm like, I don't know what he's doing. Shit. My focus is the quarterbacks that are on this roster that I need to get ready. And it ain't on the guy who ain't going to be here or possibly may not be here. So I just appreciate that he never bit on that, and he stayed focused and did a great job. But yeah, Twin definitely put that out there that Griese deserved.
But consistency, man, and we gotta give, like I said, whether it matters. That's why I gotta hope that I think Trey could have did something similar because, hey, no matter what we want to say about Jimmy, he looked better. We never seen Purdy in the running a pro style offense, but he looked better than most people who was looking at his film coming out of Iowa. They were like, yeah. But being in the offseason with Brian Griese, maybe taking a scout team with the defense, been in that room, that QB room with Brian Griese and sitting down watching film, I think there's something that he saw, you know what I mean, that I got to give props to where he was like, all right, bam. And he got these guys coming in, they're feeling comfortable. They know their hots. They know how to get Kittle involved or Brandon Ayuk involved. I just gotta say, hey man, he doing something back there where he definitely deserves to be magnified. Like we all show Kyle the love, which is cool. That's fine. But people want to say that, hey, D'Amico Ryans is a good defensive coordinator, but Chris Kraseric, guys, you got to realize what he's doing. You got to do the same thing for Kyle. Hey, Kyle's a wonderful offensive coordinator, but man, that QB room had never looked like this looking now until Brian Griese got there. So,
oh yeah, Griese's like a wisp, like he's got the knowledge and
he's got a magic touch, man. That's the cold QB whisperer, man. But I'll let y'all another time, man. Appreciate y'all for having me. Get up out of here, get some rest.
All right, Dion, take it easy, bro. And we're about to end this pretty soon. So,
Dion.
All right, Dion. All right, we'll do a final little conclusion. I know this has been going on for an hour. I know you guys got some stuff to do. We'll let David McDew say what he's got to say, and then we'll go on to Twin, and we'll go on to Corey, and then that's it. All right, so David, you're next.
So points-wise, we are averaging 33.5 points a game with Brock Purdy at QB.
That's 10 points better than Jimmy, right?
It's yes, easy 10 points. And when it comes down to it, early in the season when Jimmy G was playing, and he did struggle the first few games, I was saying our offense looks offensive. You know, I'm old school 49er fan. But right now, I can't say that. Our offense looks great. Yeah. I am absolutely loving what I'm seeing right now, and it's time to take on the Sea Chickens for the third time, which, you know, it's always tough to play a team 3 times, but at the same time, this ain't at Seattle. So, Noah, We're coming for you.
Yeah, we're going to roast them Seahawks. All right, so we got Twin next.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for the defense to go and make a statement. We can truly see what the offense has been doing. We appreciate it. That's fine, but defense win championships. I do believe we'll go back and look at the 80s 49ers. I mean, I know Joe Montana get a lot of the credit for what he did offensively, but go look at those Super Bowls and those playoff runs. That defense was out there putting them clanks on a lot of teams, and people don't realize that. I know Joe and them get the love, but hey, go back and take a look at the films, man. It was some real good offensive that got the breaks beat off them. And when I mean not only offensives, I'm talking about the Boomer sizes. I'm talking about the John Elways. I'm talking about the Dan Marinos. We talking about Hall of Fame QBs that when they make it them Niners, baby,
they got hit.
You know, they got hit and they got hit hard. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no question who was the better team. So I'm really looking forward to this defense making a statement, man. Because even if the quarterback maybe, I mean, we trust that he'll be good. But if he's a little iffy, I think the defense will go out there and make a statement. And they're trying to make sure they make up for what happened in that last Super Bowl where they gave up those points in the second half and we lost. And I think they feel something about, I think they feel a certain type of way.
A little
they're not going to have a little vengeance, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, Corey, say what you gotta say, man.
Yeah, I don't have to go back and look at it. I saw it. I saw it. I'm at the age where I saw all that. Yeah, I just think our defense and our offense, we're gonna handle Seattle. I don't think it's gonna be a close game to me. I feel like it's gonna be one of them slobber knockers, like you say, CG. And one more, I think, Minnesota fans feel the same way as we feel about Jimmy. They don't like Kirk Cousins.
I mean, Kirk is he's a system quarterback, if we're being honest. Like, he can excel, but
and then Seattle defense ain't that good against run. And look at that, we got Mitchell and CMC and DMD and Debo. So I think we're gonna give that defense a terrible time. And hopefully our defense stop their running back, keep him in track. And that's all I got.
Oh, most definitely. You know what the main key is to beat Seattle, since we're getting to that final conclusion, man, is to play a little physical style. That DB needs to get under Metcalf's mentally. We see what happened when Travarius Ward did last time. He limited that guy. So we're going to need that. We're going to need that mind game, mental aspect. Like if we can get under DK Metcalf mentally, the guy loses it, right? So that's going to be the main key, is if we can limit DK Metcalf. I know Tyler Lockett's going to have his targets here and there, but their running game, we can slow down that running game. If we limit to the way we done it and we pressure Geno, which Geno doesn't do too well when he plays from behind, we should be able to get this W. But we're not going to overlook them, so we'll see what happens. But we're going to make some history, boys. It's been since 11 years or 12 years since a team's got beat 3 times in a season. Are we looking at possible history?
Why not us, baby?
Why not us? We had a chance last year, but we came short.
Yep.
Now it's time to redeem ourselves this year.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, guys, let's call it a day. Hey, we'll see you guys next week. We'll see how the outcome
goes. Go 49ers.
Go Niners.
Bang, bang. Not a game. Let's get it.